gentlemen.
That seems to be the problem, John.
Well, what the problem is? You need to tell your grandpa every month this much, and he needs to get with the fucking program.
You must have come to the wrong place, because we got no money. Just keep walking, man.
Well, then I'm gonna take something. Hey, don't turn your fucking back on me. Hey, Betrayal. My bullet's faster. I'm gonna see you soon. Let's go, get the fuck up!
You have a beautiful family.
It was a beautiful family, yeah.
That's a shame.
What are you doing here? Ramsey sent you. Ramsey's dead.
Not for me, it isn't. Ramsey gave me a job to do. Whether he's alive or dead is inconsequential. My reputation dictates that that job needs to be finished.
The film opens in the war-torn landscape of Afghanistan, where American special forces engage in intense combat with Taliban forces. In a harrowing turn of events, many American soldiers lose their lives in this unexpected clash. Among the survivors is Colonel Tom Mason, who suffers a gunshot wound to the leg, while a fellow soldier named Jake bravely attempts to save him amidst the chaos. Just as the battle intensifies, a helicopter arrives to provide critical support. Fast forward 5 years, and we find Jake grappling with the haunting memories of that fateful day. Having distanced himself from military life, he now works as a mechanic in his Uncle Earl's workshop. Despite his new profession, Jake heads back to his home plagued by financial struggles, with the looming threat of foreclosure on their home. He reassures his wife, Susan, and their child Charlie, that he will find a way to resolve their problems. One ordinary morning at the workshop takes a dark turn when a group of gangsters, led by a menacing figure named Fresh, arrives to collect debts from Earl. An altercation ensues as they attempt to intimidate Jake, but he stands his ground and drives them off, only for Fresh to threaten him with a gun before leaving. Later, Earl reveals his own troubled past as a former gangster who had crossed paths with Fresh's crew. Returning home, Jake is horrified to discover Fresh emerging from his house, only to find his wife and children brutally murdered inside. Consumed by grief and rage, Jake evades police questioning about the incident and embarks on a quest for vengeance. After a night spent searching the streets, Jake tracks down Fresh's car outside a nightclub. Armed and fueled by fury, he storms inside and mercilessly takes down Fresh and his gang.
Yo, take it easy! I didn't mean to kill your wife! I didn't want to hurt your boy.
However, this act of violence lands Jake in prison. 5 months later, haunted by the loss of his family, Jake receives an unexpected visit from Colonel Tom, his former commanding officer. Tom offers to help secure Jake's release through legal means, seeking to repay the debt of gratitude for Jake's heroism on the battlefield. Yet Jake declines the offer, feeling that prison has become his only refuge in a world where he feels utterly alone. Later that night, another visitor named Ramsey approaches Jake with an offer of assistance, but Jake remains resolute in his refusal. In a shocking turn of events, Jake is abducted from his cell by 2 soldiers in black uniforms, agents of Ramsey's secret organization known as Section 8. Impressed by Jake's formidable skills as a former Special Forces operative who single-handedly eliminated a gang, Ramsey seeks to recruit him into his covert operations, presenting Jake with an unexpected opportunity for redemption and purpose amidst his turmoil. After considerable persuasion from Ramsey, Jake ultimately agreed to join Section 8. The very next day, he was swiftly taken to a secure Section 8 facility, where Ramsey formally introduced him to his new colleagues. Jake was informed that he would receive a new identity, a home, a vehicle, and all the essentials necessary for his new life. Ramsey elaborated on the secretive nature of Section 8, an organization created by the government yet unrecorded in official files, fully supported by state resources. Their primary mission was to eliminate powerful criminals and corrupt officials who operated above the law. Before officially joining Section 8, Jake had to undergo evaluation by senior members, Liza, Brown, Ricky, and Roy. During this assessment, Brown expressed doubts about Jake's readiness, believing he was still haunted by his past and hesitant to engage in violence. However, Liza defended Jake, reminding everyone that they had all faced similar struggles when they first joined. Eventually, Jake received his first mission: to retrieve sensitive schematics from a man named Castillo, a defense contractor profiting from the illegal sale of state-owned weapons. Castillo was planning to sell these schematics to a Russian mafia chief in Mexico, and approaching him would be perilous due to the heavy armed security surrounding him. Curious about Castillo's fate once they acquired the schematics, Jake asked Liza what would happen next. She grimly replied that Castillo must be killed, as the true purpose of Section 8 was assassination. In due course, Jake and Liza arrived in Mexico at the designated transaction site. Liza instructed Jake to operate independently. As the meeting unfolded, Johnny, the head of the Russian mafia, grew increasingly frustrated with Castillo's presence at a dilapidated location and his incessant chatter. Without warning, a gunshot rang out, leading Johnny to believe he had been double-crossed by Castillo. This ignited chaos as both groups opened fire on one another. As the gunfire subsided and many were dead, Jake seized the moment to confront Johnny and eliminate him along with the remaining mafia members. He then approached the wounded Castillo and demanded the schematics. When Castillo cursed him in defiance, Jake shot him without hesitation. With the mission accomplished, Jake made his exit. Ramsey was furious upon learning that Jake had left behind two witnesses, innocent girls, when retrieving the file. Jake stood firm in his refusal to take their lives. In response, Ramsey assigned Leonard, a highly skilled assassin, to eliminate a corrupt official running an illegal gambling operation. Leonard successfully completed his mission but faced an ambush from guards. However, he managed to escape effortlessly. Meanwhile, Jake settled into his new luxurious home provided by Section 8. As he explored his surroundings, he stumbled upon a photograph from his time in Afghanistan, instantly bringing back memories of Colonel Tom, the only other survivor from their ill-fated mission while the rest of their unit perished in battle. The weight of his past pressed heavily on him as he contemplated the choices that lay ahead. Under the cover of night, Jake and Liza found themselves in a dimly lit bar, sharing drinks and secrets. It was there that Liza confessed to Jake that she had harbored feelings for him since their very first meeting. Yet, Jake remained haunted by memories of his late wife, unable to fully embrace the possibility of moving on. The following day, Ramsey summoned his team for another mission: to retrieve incriminating files from a senator suspected of corruption and other heinous crimes. As the operation unfolded, Jake and his team positioned themselves near the senator, who was delivering a speech to his supporters while flanked by heavily armed bodyguards. When the security room was compromised, the bodyguards swiftly whisked the senator away to safety. In the chaos, Liza successfully downloaded the sensitive files, while Jake pursued the senator's vehicle. Upon stopping the car, Jake confronted the senator, who pleaded for his life, invoking the names of his children and wife. This moment of humanity caused Jake to falter, gripped by hesitation. However, before he could act, Jake's team opened fire from a distance, ending the senator's life in a hail of bullets. That evening, Ramsey issued a chilling order: Jake was to be eliminated at his home. Sensing the impending danger, Jake fled just in time, seeking refuge in Colonel Tom's house. There, he confided in Tom about becoming a fugitive from Section 8, revealing that Ramsey deemed him a liability after he spared two witnesses during his first mission and hesitated on his second. Tom disclosed a shocking truth: that Section 8 was not a government-sanctioned organization but rather a long-standing adversary of both the FBI and CIA. As their conversation concluded, Jake requested money and weapons for his survival. Meanwhile, Ramsey grew increasingly anxious about Jake's potential to expose the organization's secrets now that he was still alive. In response, he reassigned Leonard to eliminate him. During Jake's desperate escape, he unexpectedly encountered a schoolmate of his son's, who mentioned seeing Fresh conversing with men in black, details that sparked Jake's suspicion that Ramsey was involved in his son's death. Just then, Leonard took aim from afar and fired at Jake, triggering a police response. Yet Leonard dispatched the officers with ease while Jake managed to slip away. Leonard's failure to kill Jake infuriated Ramsey, as it marked the first time Leonard had missed his target. Meanwhile, Jake sought refuge at Earl's home. Before long, Section 8 operatives launched an attack. This time, however, Jake wasn't alone. Earl fought alongside him, leading to an intense shootout.
I think you're out. Hold up.
Running low on ammunition, Brown challenged Jake to a hand-to-hand fight.
Come on.
Just when it seemed Brown would prevail, Liza intervened, shooting him from behind. With the danger escalating, Liza led Jake to a new hiding spot. But as they arrived, Jake suddenly lost consciousness. When he awoke, he found himself bound and facing Ramsey. The betrayal stung deeply as he realized Liza's assistance had merely been a trap. Confused and defiant, Jake confronted Ramsey, questioning why he hadn't killed him immediately. Ramsey's response hinted at a shocking revelation for Jake. It turned out that Tom had been colluding with Ramsey all along, believing that Jake's extraordinary military skills were being squandered on a mundane life as an auto repair mechanic. Tom had even suggested that Ramsey recruit Jake to harness his potential. However, in a cruel twist, Ramsey had ordered gangsters to eliminate Jake's family, believing that the loss would strip Jake of his humanity and turn him into a ruthless killer. Yet, Ramsey miscalculated. Jake still clung to his moral compass. After their sinister plot was revealed, Tom, Ramsey, and Liza exited the room, planning to divide the proceeds from the senator's illicit schemes and confidential files. Ramsey proposed that Jake be killed immediately, deeming him a liability. However, Tom returned to Jake's side and untied him, disclosing his true mission. He was an operative assigned by the government to apprehend Ramsey. Just then, the fire alarm blared, triggering chaos as the entire facility was thrown into disarray. One by one, Tom and Jake took down Ramsey's henchmen, while Ramsey and Liza sought refuge. In a desperate bid to sway Jake, Ramsey offered him a staggering $3 million, an escape plan that would grant Jake freedom from his past. But the temptation of wealth held no allure for Jake. His sole focus was on avenging the brutal murder of his wife and children at Ramsey's hands. Just when it seemed Jake had the upper hand, Liza ambushed him, gun drawn. In a tragic moment, she shot Tom before he could react. As he lay dying, Tom expressed his remorse to Jake, acknowledging his indirect role in the tragedy that befell Jake's family. The weight of betrayal hung heavy in the air as Jake prepared for the confrontation with Liza, knowing that the fight for justice and survival was far from over. Fortunately, Liza's gun was devoid of bullets, leading to a fateful confrontation where she ultimately succumbed in Jake's grasp. Meanwhile, Ramsey made a hasty escape with his ill-gotten $3 million, prompting Jake to pursue him relentlessly. In a moment of precision, Jake shot out Ramsey's car tire and closed in on him, ready to exact his vengeance. However, Ramsey, with contempt, taunted Jake, asserting that his doubts rendered him weak and incapable of pulling the trigger. Yet, in a decisive act of resolve, Jake silenced Ramsey forever with 2 shots. Afterward, Jake encountered Attorney General Martin, the man who had assigned Tom his mission. Martin expressed the government's gratitude for Jake's role in eliminating Ramsey and revealed the truth behind the man he had just killed. Once an FBI agent, Ramsey had been dishonorably discharged and had since formed Section 8, an illicit organization comprised of ex-military operatives dedicated to extorting corrupt officials and trafficking sensitive government information. The government had dispatched Colonel Tom to bring Ramsey to justice. Martin emphasized that threats like Ramsey still lurked in the shadows, and the country needed someone of Jake's caliber to hunt them down. In exchange for his service, the life sentence hanging over Jake would be lifted. However, Jake declined the offer, feeling that he had nothing left to fight for now that his revenge was complete. Before parting ways, Martin handed Jake his business card, convinced that one day Jake would reconsider. Returning home, Jake found Leonard waiting for him to fulfill Ramsey's final mission.
You have a beautiful family.
It was a beautiful family, yeah.
That's a shame.
What are you doing here? Ramsey sent you. Ramsey's dead.
Not for me, it isn't. Ramsey gave me a job to do. Whether he's alive or dead is inconsequential. My reputation dictates that that job needs to be finished.
The film concludes with Jake on a bus, dialing Martin's number. In a poignant twist, he finally accepts the government's offer, signaling a new chapter in his life as he prepares to confront the shadows of corruption that still threaten his country. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.